Why do you walk with me?
Do everything up here.
Did you talk to Mikey?
Well, it's for everyone. It's not for me. I have like 6 people working up here sometimes, so you'll be good. It's fine. It's just we're like odd at the moment. We're like I just stop. So anything that's on this screen is yours.
Good morning, everyone. The day two of the final four at Malory Women's Super League having a dynamic men's season. After a fantastic day yesterday, we now know who will be battling the gold, silver and bronze today and will be crowning the champion later on this afternoon. We've got 4 incredible games coming your way. Right across the board, kicking off with a bronze medal match at the Malory Women's Super League. It's Newcastle Knights taking on a
Why does this have green tape on it?
Because that's the one that you can hear the mics downstairs. It's fine. You can just wear it.
Okay, so the lead needs to wear that one. Is what the lead needs to wear that one. Is what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre here in South London. It is medal day. Gold and bronze up for grabs, and we're going to start in the Malory Women's Super League as Newcastle win the toss and do their customary change of ends. We'll get onto that in a minute, absolutely no doubt about it. But as we said, Newcastle Malory, a rematch of opening day in the Super League as the defending champions are no longer, and they now have to fight for bronze against a new team up in the Super League as we get ready for the game. About 14 minutes away from first serve here at Crystal Palace. Mike Hanson-Morris, Jess Smith here for this game. And Jess, it's always a difficult game to play, the bronze medal game. But there's something on the line for both these teams. Newcastle trying to medal in their first season. Malory, you don't want to go from defending champions to out the medals, and they've also got a cup final to think about.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what happens between these two squads. I mean, Malory played the earlier game yesterday, so they've had a bit more time to rest. Newcastle played the later game against Essex Rebels. That went to 5 sets, so they've had less rest and more playing time yesterday. So, you know, potentially some fatigue kicking in there. Like you said, though, new entrants into the Super League this season, so they will definitely be looking to take home some silverware from today's match, especially knowing that their male counterparts are in the gold medal match that we'll see later this evening.
Indeed, and as I say, team's about to start, or just starting the warm-up. Newcastle, so Malory chose to receive, but Newcastle, as they customary seem to do, is change ends. I don't think the sun's going to be an issue, but it is a lot sunnier at Crystal Palace than it was yesterday morning. Obviously, that all-important toss on the men's side, which caused a bit of drama. So to catch you up on the events of yesterday and how we got here at the Final Four, obviously, dramatic games, at least for one game. The rest of them were maybe a little bit more simple than we thought, Jess.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this at the Timeout podcast last week. You know, we were expecting there to be effectively no 3-0 victories this weekend. We thought that everything was going to go to at least 4 sets. So that prediction's straight out the window with 3 3-set wins yesterday and only one match going to 5 sets.
So the results, it was Durham 25-21, 25-22, 25-23 against Malory. I don't think... Was it that close?
Yes. It was a really good match. Like, yeah. Malory played really well.
I thought one of the sets was like 18, and I don't know why.
I think it was like 23-16 at some point, and then
yes, you're right. Malory came back. Yes, and then Essex Rebels will take on Durham in the final later. That's scheduled for about 3 o'clock. Rebels winning the first 25-23. Knights coming back 21-25. And then 25-20 Essex set 3, and Newcastle forcing the tiebreak 23-25 before the Rebels closed it out 15-13. And then in the dynamic men's Super League, London Giants 3-0'd the University of Nottingham 25-18, 25-16, 25-18. And then the nightcap was a 3-0 victory for the Newcastle Knights. I, for some reason, can't find the scoreline of that one. But it was 26-24 Newcastle in set number 1, as the Knights came back from 1 set point down at 24-23 Malory to win the first set, and then 25-21, 25-19 in the end on the game. So that will set up a Newcastle Knights London Giants final. But yes, obviously we've got the women first up. Newcastle will start with them. Tough, gritty 5 sets. Couldn't quite close it out. But they played a lot of consistent volleyball. They felt consistent. It felt like the more this team's gone on, the more they've clicked. And they are, having already beaten Malory in February, probably favourites coming into this game.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they played really well yesterday. I think what we've seen as a development since the opening parts of the season is obviously their service reception has gotten a lot better. They did have a couple of wobbles yesterday, and they've done a better job of getting out of those ruts, you know, when they have a couple of errors and then, you know, something switches and they, you know, choose a different attacking option, or they've got some changes they could make from the bench, and using those to great effect. But had some really incredible defense yesterday, which I think really kept them in that match and pushed Essex Rebels really hard.
So you talk about obviously going through 5. How important is it now that Newcastle are able to maybe diversify the offense a little bit? Because Jenna Vask took 20 more swings than anyone on the team yesterday. Ended up with just 14 kills on 44 swings, but by outswinging everyone by 20 swings, how important is it that they can find a little bit more of an outlet? Because if it goes long today, she's going to be definitely a little bit on the fatigue end.
Yeah, she's really going to have to rely on her teammates to try and take some of that attacking effort today. I think Newcastle would do well to get their middles a bit more involved. They were, effective when they were involved yesterday. If they can get that running a bit smoother. But I mean, we saw McMahon had some really great moments in yesterday's match. She was had 10 kills. So could they put more to the outside options? Could they utilize that pipe a bit more, or run some more dynamic plays to at least spread things out?
Indeed, they didn't pass particularly well, but the service pressure from Newcastle was definitely up. On the other side of the net, Malory just didn't get going offensively, hit under 100 in all 3 of the sets. Claire Kellum and Chloe Allen, the 2 outlets that all season long for Malory, combined for just 17 kills on 71 attacks, hitting 0.070 between them, Jess. So Malory, again, we know Durham are good defensively, but they need to find some different ways and potentially getting the middles involved a little bit more today.
Yeah, I think we'll see some improved hitting efficiency from Malory today. I think they were struggling to get around a quite tall Durham block yesterday. They did play well. They weren't the best that we've ever seen them. They weren't as aggressive as I was expecting them to be.
Yep.
So I'm sure that they're going to take notes from yesterday's match, come out today with those heavy arm swings coming down, trying to put the ball away against this Newcastle side.
Indeed, and obviously easy to talk about it, but Ari Sierra, again, we talk about defense, leading the way as she has all season. The Mari Women's Super League MVP as well, but passed a 2.65 yesterday on 20 balls, 11 digs as well in that loss, and she's going to be a challenge for Newcastle to get through. Obviously, these two sides have met twice before. Opening day, Malory absolutely destroyed the Knights, 25-16, 25-18, 25-19. I know Sam Shen in the pre-game interview yesterday was joking about that set being the welcome to the Super League moment. But when these two sides met at the end of Feb, it was Newcastle came out on top, 16-25, 25-20, 12-25, and then the Knights taking the last two, 25-18, 15-12. So both teams were so similarly matched in that game. Malory hit 196, Newcastle 168, but in the sets Newcastle won, they both hit 275. So both teams passed at a 225 as well. So how important is it that Newcastle keep up with Malory on that passing unit to really initiate the offense?
I think it's going to be the serve receive that's going to define how Newcastle do today. We've seen that they have, good attacking options. We've mentioned Jenna Vasquez already as a great outlet for them. Hopefully they can spread things out a bit more. But if they can't get the pass going, they're going to be limited to pins only all throughout the match today. And we know that Malory going to come in with that consistent service reception. Even yesterday when they had some wobbles, they were putting up at least like a 2 ball. So they still had some hitting options, maybe not through the middle. But it's going to be a really interesting match. This could go either way.
Indeed, and you mentioned Jenna Vass. Let's talk about her now. The one to watch to this game. Last time she played Malory, 12 kills, just 2 errors on 28 swings, hit 357 in that matchup. And we said she was high volume yesterday. She's been so big on the opposite position all year for Newcastle, and she's been that linchpin that they've built the offense around, apart from Renee in the middle.
Yeah, but she's so dynamic, and she does a really great job of changing up her shots and, squeezing through gaps in the block that you don't think they're actually there.
On the flip side, from one opposite to someone that we now understand and talked about this morning is going to get the start, had a massive impact off the bench yesterday, and that is McKenna McCall, Malory number 9. She's going to play outside or opposite. It'll be interesting to see where they go. We speculated this is the lineup we expect to see yesterday. It closed the game out, but McKenna's just really solid and linchpinned.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a few moments ago that Malory weren't as aggressive yesterday as I thought they were going to be. And McKenna came on yesterday and was the most aggressive player for Malory on the offense, full stop. She had the fire. She was willing to take some risks. You know, we saw a couple of errors off of that, but she made some really big points, and it came in clutch for Malory.
And obviously the one thing, as much as Malory lost last time, McKenna's got experience with the UEL team. That's a team that beat Newcastle in the Bucks semi-final by 5 sets. Malory and UEL play very differently, but McKenna McCall had a big clutch moments in that semi-final, and her confidence, and chatting with Jefferson Williams before, it's just that little change that she's a little bit fearless. She doesn't mind making mistakes despite being a little bit more reserved, so she'll go into starting lineup and be a big part of the Malory offense. The other person, we talked about the middles. Be interesting to see if Malory can get V Oron in the middle going. She had 9 kills on 14 swings in that game against Newcastle just over 6 weeks ago. So again, we talked about in the middle, so the fact that they've been able to do it, but only 14 swings in 5 sets says a lot about how Malory set the middle, because they only get 4 or 5 middle attacks a set between her and Jaden Scott.
Yeah, but I think this is where you get the advantage of having Ari Serra in the lineup for this Malory Eagles Super League team. Is you have a more consistent pass, you have more opportunities to set the middle, and you've got different setting options that maybe are more willing to get things going for that middle.
So teams not long away from being ready to go here. Obviously a big day of games. Let us know where you're tuning in from the comments and the predictions. Currently 55% of you believe this bronze medal is going to go to the Malory Eagles, and 45 to Newcastle. As teams getting ready to get officially introduced here at the National Sports Centre. And obviously, Jess, as we do with everything, coaching staffs as well. As referees introduced, Joseph Gore and Anna Jaskowska, 2 super experienced referees, but this coaching staffs on both teams really good at game planning, obviously know each other really well. You see Cal Gordon and Sam Shenton there at the bottom of the screen with a big hug, but it's interesting that they've managed to find ways to develop both these teams over the season. Sam Shenton made the move to move Caroline McMahon to the outside and help with the passing unit. Malory have had a lot of topsy-turvy. Last year it was so stable. This year it's not been consistent, but they've been able to rotate the pack so well. So the coaching matchup is going to be super important with limited prep time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're limited on how much coaching you can do on a day like this, but you're right. The development over the season for both of these squads has been tremendous, and I think I would be very surprised if both of these squads didn't make it back to Final Fours next season, because I'm sure that they'll continue that development as we head into the 26-27 season.
So Newcastle going to come out first in this game. Number 4, Belle Hogan. Number 10, Jenna Vask. Number 13, Daisy Boardman will get the start over Kaylee Scarce, who made a big impact off the bench yesterday, but Boardman has played well against Malory this season. Number 22, through the middle, Amber Jureki Myers. Number 27, Caroline McMahon. Number 28, Rennie Kilo through the middle, and then the libero for the Knights, number 7, Alexi Abelbach. Renee's going to be the one, again, Jess, super important to get her established, because she can do it offensively but also defensively. 11 blocks against Malory last time.
Yeah, it's going to be massive to get her involved and make sure that she's tracking that Malory offense from the off.
And then the Malory starting unit, led out by number 4, Captain Chloe Allen. Number 6, Jaden Scott. Number 8, Emily Feller will get the start again at the setter position. Number 9, we talked about McKenna McCall. Number 11, Claire Kellum. Number 16, V. Oron. And of course, number 3, Ari Sierra in the defensive position. And this Malory unit is really interesting, Jess, because we don't quite know how they're going to set up. Who's going to pass? Is it going to be McKenna McCall? Is it going to be Claire Kellum? Is they going to do a hybrid? Or if they've done a hybrid at UEL, And this is the group that got them to the Final Four by beating side out in that reverse sweep. So the fact that they've got some positional flexibility will be interesting to see how that establishes.
Yeah, I think we'll see some movement in that passing unit as things move on, depending on how they handle the Newcastle serving. Again, they haven't seen Newcastle in this venue, and we've talked a lot about how much the ball really moves here at Crystal Palace.
Well, it's interesting that a few of the Knights, despite playing in the gold medal game, have made their way down. Only Nathan Fullerton from the Malory men here, despite the Malory men playing in a couple of hours. So Newcastle will certainly win the battle. As you can see, Charlie Hedgecock, one of our technical directors, on the table, and we're about ready to go. Bronze medal game here on Final Four weekend.
All right, we've got Hogan here to start us off for the Newcastle Knights as we are ready to go. Jump float start to great pass from Chloe Allen and straight to the middle. Exactly what we were just talking about. We need to get those middles established early. Great to see Oyoni get the first set of the match.
Jack Bailey says we're almost there. Yeah, but the problem is you're late.
Feller serve. Great out to Jenna Vask. That's good defense. McKenna McCool again swinging hard. And a big swing, nearly picked up, but a great kill for McMahon to start things off for Newcastle.
And it's interesting, immediately no press on the Malory block, and Newcastle tend to be a little bit safer in transition. Don't want to set too tight, so they're always on the cautious side.
And that serve goes into the net. And again, Claire Kellum returns the favor with a service error of her own. I'm hoping this isn't going to be like the second men's semifinal yesterday where there was, I think, 4 service errors in a row. As I say that.
One more.
What's one more amongst friends?
Anything you can do, I can do.
And Oyoni this time does put the ball into the court, and an out-of-system set is still put away by Daisy Boardman.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's important to establish Boardman early. We said she had some success against Malory in the last game as well, but again, finding other outlets.
And that's a decent pass there from McKenna McCool. So straight to the pipe, but that set's a little bit low for Claire Kellum. Smart play.
This is in the Malory scouting report. I know this from watching some of the Bucks semi-final. They were trying to really target deep corners on pushes. So it's something that they've got to adapt to. As we talked about McKenna McCool before the game and impact, and one of the few players on the Malory side with an ace yesterday gets one to get herself started.
I know, what a first service in this bronze medal match for McKenna McCool.
Also, shout out to the parents watching on the east coast of the USA at 5 a.m. in the morning. We definitely appreciate that dedication.
Of course. What else would you do when your kid's up for a bronze medal match here in the Mari Women's Super League?
Sleep and watch us back 2 hours later.
So Daisy Boardman serves. Good pass there from McCool. Out to Chloe Allen, who's blocked.
And I think that's the outlet issue for Malory. Like, Renee takes up so much space, you need another option, because Chloe struggled yesterday. Chloe Allen struggled against a double block.
That's a tight pass from Sierra, and we're going to get an invasion call on Kilo.
Great job by Emily Feller to stay out the net. You say it was tight, but it was definitely on the Malory side.
It definitely was, yes. That brings up Chloe Allen's serve. It's a very deep float. Well handled, though. And the first set for one of the Newcastle middles. And McCool, too much heat for the Newcastle defense.
Yeah, super interesting that they've They've gone with McKenna on this right side, Claire on the left. Obviously, we said the interchange, but again, targeting people.
And nearly a really clever short serve from Chloe Allen.
I mean, you can clearly tell that was the game plan. Chloe Allen practiced one of them in the warm-up, bit wide, and Jeff really agonised, but actually I don't think you mind that serve. It put some questions on for later in the match.
Kilo serve is not well handled by McCool, so we're out of system for Claire Kellum. Good defense on the Newcastle side. And McMahon with a great block-out swing.
In fact, we've got some parents up at 2 a.m. on the West Coast. That's a stay up and have a lie-in type of moment.
Definitely. Again, targeting McCool. She's not quite handled that the best, but that's good block coverage from Ari. Bit of miscommunication there, and I think Malory, you're lucky to have come away with that point.
But it's a beautiful piece of hitting by McCool because of her footwork. That's the key. It's like she had a lot of movement to be able to actually put in some aggressive swing, and again, targeting Daisy Boardman on the attack, but it's all about the footwork from McCool there.
That's a good pass from Boardman on Jaden Scott's serve. And then the defense is good as well. McMahon's given a tight set. A little bit of an overpass there. Claire Kellum with some aggression of her own. And then the setter dump, so smart from Emily Feller.
And that's Emily Feller. That's the difference between her and Gabby. A little bit slower hands, but Emily is so aggressive trying to find setter dumps. And even when she doesn't get it, she puts teams in scrambles. They earn free balls back.
It's the casual nature with no jump whatsoever. Right, we're out of system here for McMahon. Really great swing down the line. So it's going to go out to Kellum. That's a low set again. McMahon gets a better set this time, and a collision between Jaden Scott and Chloe Allen in the Malory defense.
But again, that's Jaden Scott's versatility that normally, it's surprising with their connection that Chloe Allen doesn't trust Jaden a little bit more. We know how good defensively she is as a middle back in 5.
Better pass here for McCool, but a misconnection between Feller and Oyeroni.
Yeah, and they didn't quite, they sunk up obviously in the first point. There was a few misconnections yesterday, the ball a little bit short. So you can see Feller obviously trying to make that adjustment be a bit high, but that time too much.
Hogan serves again, this time with a bit more oomph. And that set looks like exactly what Claire Kellum wanted.
Yeah, and that's her at her very best, being able to come in, attack the ball. It's a little bit quicker tempo as well, which is what she likes, and just being able to swing hard. She's going to be high error rate, but she's going to find kills off it.
Feller with a very flat serve on Daisy Boardman. So it's going to go out to Jenna Vask. Smart swing.
Yeah, and squeezing it between the antenna and then catching the outside of the block as well. Not a lot of room to work with for Vask. The block was plenty early enough. But 20 points in, still nothing separating these two sides.
McCool looks to be settling in on that service reception, and Claire Kellum looks to have found that aggression she was missing yesterday.
I mean, she had it, she just didn't have it for the first set and a half. She came alive a little bit later in the game. It just slow start, but again, she's been so pivotal for this Malory's success.
Great serve here, well handled. Daisy Boardman with a swing, and of course, Ari Serra is there. And this time, Chloe Allen takes advantage of that gap in the block.
And again, wasn't the best dig by Sierra. Emily Feller again getting time to get there, getting her feet set, did well not to go under the net as well.
Kellum with a short serve. Again, just a little wide on those short serves.
Yeah, at some point you make the adjustment, or do you take the risk, knowing that this is going to be long, you're going to put pressure on, and if you pull it off, you're going to get aces, you're going to get them out of system.
Jarecki Meyer serves. Slightly out of system there from Sierra. And that defense is almost picked up. That was a great effort.
Yeah, huge hustle, but again, slightly out of system. But Malory understanding middle serving, so you can go to 5, and that's kind of an outlet position when you need it.
Oyarani with her own tough serve. Again, targeting Daisy Boardman. Newcastle asking for an invasion, but definitely not.
It was definitely tight, but yeah, at the moment, Daisy Boardman's got a couple of kills, but defensively hasn't settled. And that's going to be pivotal for Newcastle's. This is suddenly a 3-point lead as there's the serve Jess you wanted.
Exactly. But decent defense on Malory keeps things live, but that rolling shot, well handled. Jenna Vask is blocked, but what a coverage with the chicken wing.
Lexi Applewatch covering so much room to get out there.
McKenna McCool doing it all, swinging and covering. Daisy Boardman swings. Good containing block touch here. Great set from Chloe Allen. And out to Jenna Vask again. Can she close it down? Yes.
That's a massive rally for the Knights to win. Malory had a couple of opportunities to really have the advantage, but Alexi Applebach on the cover was really the difference.
Really dippy serve there as Chloe Allen can't keep herself from going under the net.
But Janovaski is so difficult because she serves, she is ready. As soon as that whistle goes, that serve is happening. And twice she's gone short cross court on the whistle, and neither time Malory got there. The first time he found a way to recover, but that triggered the whole system that you normally wait 1-2 seconds and you've got time to think, and Janovaski just goes so quick.
Yeah, it's a really smart approach to the serve, because you're right, she's catching the Malory team out completely. You've got no time to look at the positioning of Jenna before she serves the ball. Just toss, go.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what Jefferson Williams is kind of talking about. Obviously that long rally and momentum changer, but that moment for them to really just take a deep breath and just make that adjustment, because the players haven't made it, and it's not something that's can't be unscouted. We saw it all of the semi-final yesterday, so it's just those little coaching points that matter so much.
Vask again straight on the whistle. We're going to get a 2-ball over and a smart use of the hands from the middle.
Yeah, it was a half-hearted block attempt, and in the end, you almost better not jumping and not playing for the block, and especially when it's down the middle.
This time a little bit loopier. Chloe Allen does well to handle that, and Claire Kellum comes in.
That's a beautiful concept, though, to open up Kellum from the back pipe on a slide by Jaden Scott, starting on the opposite side. Beautiful idea.
Good pass there from Kellum. That's a bit low again on that set from Feller.
And this is where you wonder, do you make the setting change? Emily Feller started well, but a couple of bad sets in a row.
Chloe Allen going for the smart play rather than the power play. And McMahon from the backcourt. That looked like it was going long.
Oh, it was well long.
And Daisy Boardman gets a touch off the block. McKenna McCool closes things down.
Yeah, I think the difficult thing for Kellum mid-rally is that ball was straight at her. So it was going long, but yeah, you're more worried about your face, and the natural instinct is to put your hands in, and all of a sudden you're playing the ball that's probably hitting the back triangular boards, but really good patience by Malory to stay with it. And again, McKenna McCool having success.
McMahon, again, they're struggling with this service from McCool, and she comes from the backcourt. A little bit of a misconnection that time.
But that's all on the swing of Daisy Boardman. That was a really difficult ball, way outside, tight angle. And we've seen a couple of times teams give it up almost as a free ball, and instead Daisy Boardman flat, and that just controlled the rally.
And surprising ace on Ari Sierra. That's a great serve from Daisy Boardman.
Yeah, the Malory team just creeping in errors. McCool was in a good place, and we know Sierra likes to take a lot of court, but being in 6, it's a little bit more difficult.
Again, really out of system here for Malory. Straight to Chloe Allen, who says she can handle that.
Yeah, it's out of system, but it's not totally out of system, because we've seen a lot where Malory err on the side of caution to get to the 3-meter line. It's not too bad.
Short serve, again puts Newcastle out of system. Vask has to stand and attack that ball, but gives Scott an opportunity to go on 2. Vask this time with a much better set and a great connection.
Yeah, nice little change up to find her in the back row, but not quite a block in, but hey, we'll live.
Kilo's serve is again, oh, it's an ace, this time on Chloe Allen.
Surprised Jeff hasn't used a second time out here.
I like that she's targeting between Chloe Allen and McKenna McCool, but wow, Claire Kellum.
That is something we get to see twice, Jess. That is a beautiful piece of tight hitting right onto the 3 meter line, steep angle. Nothing you're doing defensively to get to that.
Jaden Scott's well handled by McMahon, who gets the ball back in turn but is shut down.
And that's what Malory need. They need the defense to create. We've seen some block touches, but it's the first time they've really attacked, and that's going to force Sam Chandler to talk it over. You can see here how early they are over through the middle. That double block up early, and again, Emily Fallon, underrated blockers, had a really solid kind of blocking season as well. So just, again, the momentum of this game is the thing that just keeps flicking back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you want to see on a bronze medal match like this. You want it to be competitive, and both teams are having to make adjustments as the match goes on to change things up. But I love that we're seeing a lot of aggression from both sides of the net.
A few more of the Newcastle men filtering in as well. I can see them on your screen there. Neil Ray, who was up with you yesterday morning, Jess, and hopefully they can head back to the hotel before the game and just relax and probably grab some food as well as Jaden Scott gets us back underway.
It's a decent pass to start things off, straight to the middle, but well covered by Oyoni. That's a free ball. What aggression from Kellum, but Vass this time goes into the net.
Yeah, and it's, again, this is the strength of the Malory team, right? Defense, defense, defense. To keep the ball up twice off the net, difficult situations, tie it to an aggressive swing.
And that time, that one goes well long from Scott.
Yeah, and it feels like this is the killer, right? Was there for a lot of teams yesterday.
Good
Beautiful
pass
ball.
here.
Right idea.
That was a good sneaky play. And Vass this time takes a little bit of heat off. And Kellum does the same. Puts Newcastle all out of sorts. Oh, what a pancake from Kellum. But it's going to be a free ball to Newcastle. They need to close this down here. And they do.
Yeah, beautiful by Amber Jerky Myers to hold the middle. Jefferson Williams is frustrated, but that's what you get with Emily Fowler. Like, it's a great awareness by Appleback early in the rally to pick that up, because we've seen that come off, and you expect that to be a kill going for that type of back set on 2.
Great serve, but well handled by McCool. Kellum being the hot hand gets the set again.
Yeah, that is a great serve as well. It's pinned McKenna McCool right on the line, but the 3-point pass, and again, it's been a lot of Claire Kellum early in this game.
Good pass here, but the middle is blocked. Oh, and it's not going to be called touches.
Yeah, I don't think it ever got above the height of the net cord for Malory to press down on the block.
So we're going to have a second timeout.
That's a terrific piece of camera work. Neil Ray not happy. Sadly, he might need his sunglasses. Because that was not over. And the gut instinct of that is the player's reaction. Once the decision, you'll always appeal for it, and then you get the secondary reaction, and that will tell you. And there was nothing from the Knights, nothing from Sam Chenton either.
Yeah.
But Malory have found a way from 4 down to get back into this set. But this is what they haven't done in moments this year, is close out sets. They got close yesterday a couple of times, had control of set number 1, couldn't close it out. So you feel like this may be more pivotal for the Eagles.
Maybe. I think you're right, though. I think they're going to want to They don't want to go home with no silverware. As we're going to have Emily Feller start us off following that timeout.
That's on the back line. That's a beautiful deep serve, and again the change. And this is where the Knights struggled a little bit yesterday with some of those deeper ones against Essex.
Huge moment to get the ace out of the timeout as well. Feller serves again targeting Boardman. McMahon with an out-of-system swing. Great defense. And Kellum, that was probably going out, but McMahon played it. A smart push tip. Oh, and confusion.
I don't think confusion, but yeah, the question is the tip going in or out? Chloe Allen covered a lot of ground. Beautiful by McMahon to see the gap, try to go to the deep corner, but again, you just can't have those errors at the business end of a set.
No, they need to hold themselves together. Kellum from the opposite this time. Another error creeping in.
Tried to go for the hand of Daisy Boardman. She knew she wasn't in a great position, but again, we've seen Malory just miss the line so much in this set.
McMahon serves long.
And the person you want on the line for Newcastle, Caroline McMahon, she's done such a good job. When we spoke to her early in the year, she was upset that she wasn't going to get to serve being a lib, so she moved to the outside, but she's been so consistent.
Kellum targets her.
It's just crazy, right? Again, set point down, you go at their best passer in Caroline McMahon, and all of a sudden you get the ace out of nowhere. It's like, wrong idea, but it somehow comes off.
I know, what a way to save a set point as Kellum serves again into the net.
Discipline, right? McMahon misses one at set point, and then Kellum puts one halfway up the net, and honestly, we just need the Jefferson Williams reaction cam right now, because the only thing, his facial expressions say everything.
Jarecki Myers puts one in, shanked by Ari. So it's going to be a free ball to Newcastle. To the middle this time. Well picked up. Chloe Allen from out of system, but covered. Again to Chloe Allen. McMahon calling off Jarecki Myers on that ball.
Yeah, that's the one
There we
Malory
go.
needs.
Big from McKenna McCool.
Yeah, that's massive, and Malory always on the back foot, but able to just push, and obviously we'll see a serving sub coming for Malory.
Yep, we saw this yesterday as well. Sophie Shishko coming in for Oyeroni as that serving sub.
Yeah, a couple of options on the Malory bench for that. Jefferson Williams wanting Sophie to go from 5, not 1. I wonder again, you probably opening up the cross court and going at Boardman, you'd think.
That's a deep serve, but great pass from Appelbach. Good defense on the Malory side as well. McKenna McCool again going for the aggression. Great defense again. And Jenna Vask with the strong push.
It's a really smart shot selection, right? You know it's coming because it's tight. Her approach is slow, and the Malory block just never closes that, knowing that that's probably going to be the option. But again, you had an opportunity with Sophie Shishko on the 3-meter line. That's a great serve.
Almost an ace to close things out. So free ball to Newcastle. They're going to run the slide for the first time. Out of system on the Malory side. Well handled. Daisy Boardman closes things out for Newcastle.
That's a monster point for Daisy Boardman. She's not been super efficient, but really going up, and Jaden Scott had to hold because of Renee through the middle, and then that meant the block was late, and all Daisy Boardman went is to try and split that block, and it's a smart, sensible decision.
Yeah, big testament to Appelbach in that rally, because it was that defense, the perfect pass on that defense that gave the Newcastle offense so many gaps in the block. But exciting to go overtime in set 1 of this Mari Women's Super League bronze medal match.
Well, we kind of said we thought this could be it could be a day full of close games. We'll talk about the Malory Nottingham game that only ever seems to go to 5 later on. But yeah, it's frustrating because Malory controlled so much of that set. Like, more kills, 15 kills, only 6. It's the error rate though. There's 6 service errors, 6 hitting errors, and I think the thing for Malory is a lot of them have been the right idea and they've missed the line by a little bit, but they never made the adjustment in the set to change it. The 3 short serves that just all go wide, like little things like that kind of pick up. And again, credit to Knights to come in, only 6 errors in a set and make Malory earn things.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of the Malory Women's Super League has been about, right? It's, as much as it's trying to win points, it's actually not giving away things. And that's going to be the frustration, and that's why Jefferson Williams is so frustrated, because they're just giving away half the points every set at the moment.
They are, and I will say as well, like, they're a lot more aggressive today than they were yesterday already, which is great to see, because, you mentioned Claire Kellum was aggressive sort of in the second half.
Back end of the set, yeah.
But to see them start more aggressive is great. But at the back end of that set, they started to lose that aggression. They were getting a bit more timid, a bit more shy about, trying to play shots instead of putting a little bit of power behind it.
But the ball control wasn't there.
Exactly.
Right? How can the hitter be aggressive, but the passes weren't as crisp? A lot of it, Newcastle were not dominating rallies, but they were on the front foot, and that never allowed Malory hitters to really be attacking. It was a lot of out-of-system stuff. Again, you want to see, yes, it's out-of-system, but when you've got Sovichenko coming on, don't go to the bump set, go be aggressive. And instead, it just builds that time. It allows the block to set up and little things like that. But credit to Newcastle, because they stuck with it. And they were just consistent in their approach. They were a little bit smarter in tough spots.
Yeah, and I mean, it's some of those smart plays. I mean, we saw McMahon and Vask and Boardman all have really intelligent block-out plays when they had a set that was either too tight, too inside, that had too well-formed a Malory block in front of them. It's those moments of decision-making that are going to be key.
And I think it's interesting. I think we're going to have I think the chat deserves a little present, don't they, Jess? It's Final Four weekend. I'm going to take a bit of a break, and we're going to bring in a very special guest.
I don't think you mean special in that way, Michael, but thank you. Hi, Jess.
Extra special guest, JC. If you don't know JC, he is the magic behind all of the great streaming stuff that we've got.
And we had such good feedback from me at Leeds. We thought to give Michael a bit of a rest before a very busy afternoon of gold medal matches, I'll jump on for a little bit, have a little chat with you all. As a lot of you maybe now know, I am leaving Volleyball England, so I want to try and get, my 5 minutes of fame on the Volleyball England stream.
Good pass there from McKenna McCool. Gives Malory the advantage and sees them put a point on the board.
I think Malory really have to bounce back with being so close in that first set. They know they can do it. It's just if Knights maybe now have got that momentum from winning a few points in a row near the end of that set, winning that set as well as that ball goes out of play.
Yeah, great swing again from Vask. It's a really tough angle, but she does well to get around the Malory block and put some pressure on Emily Feller in the backcourt.
And a service error, similar to how we saw at the start of the first set. A few into the net from the middle, especially if middles, as Kellum goes back to serve.
Yeah, Newcastle did a great job of keeping the errors low in set one, so they just need to get ahead of that. Claire Kellum comes in. Beautiful pass. Straight to the middle, but
just out, looking for a touch, nothing. Daisy's always calling for that on the refs, but then turns around, says, yep, no, there's no touch, just hoping for something.
You're always going to have that reaction, so.
You always want to ask for something just in case. Put some doubt in the referee's mind, but there's no doubt in Joe Gore's mind there.
That's very out of system for Daisy Boardman.
Huge block and unable to pick it up. That was McCall, I think, got to her hand to that. Malory now up by 2. Kellum on a nice little service run here.
Yeah, she was one of the servers that Newcastle struggled with in the first set, but that's a decent pass from McMahon. Gives them an opportunity to go through the middle.
Out to Allen. Allen off the block. Renee kind of slapping her chest there, saying maybe my bad.
Smart off-speed shot from Allen, putting a little bit of top spin on that ball, letting it fall down the front of the block.
Yeah, just rolling down the front. Maybe that press not closed in a little bit too much. Just finding the floor.
Kellum continues her service run.
Targs and Lexi. Out to Renee. Good block touch there. Fella out to McCall. Pokey and just wide. Maybe it stayed just wide. about a foot off the line.
How far out?
How far out? We are at Crystal Palace. There is deep dish outside. That pokey maybe was a bit more suited for that court, but you know, when you're in that situation, you've got to kind of get the ball over.
That's a beautiful pass from Kellum. McKenna McCall is blocked,
Good
but
coverage.
covered.
Great coverage. Allen, free ball over. Vask, Bell. Goes to the dump. Kellum there.
watch.
Great dive and save.
Daisy Boardman this time is defended.
Ari's just in that pocket though.
Yep. And good returning defense for Boardman. Jenna Vask from backcourt, down the front of the block.
Very similar to what we saw the point before there, really. Just down the front of the block, rolling down. Vask able to really put a swing on it, a little bit different to Allen, where she was kind of going that off speed. And Vask about to serve. Sierra
Good pass.
through the middle. Vask just a little bit too deep in there. Took that step forward and then just unable to pick up.
Yeah, that stabbing arm is usually not the right move. As we now have Oyeroni up to serve for the Eagles. And that one only just made it into the net.
Yeah, it's almost beers there. Or donuts. Some people, I don't know, what do you do? What do you do at Cambridge, Jess? Do you,
Beers.
is it beers? Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume you never serve into the net though, so it's fun.
That's correct, because I'm a lib.
Exactly,
So until they
that's
change
why.
that rule. Daisy Boardman is well handled.
That's
Out to Chloe Allen.
Huge swing.
I think that caught Daisy on the finger. Oh,
Yeah, she's down.
She doesn't
she's
look-
kind of holding her wrist at the moment. I mean, if I'm getting a ball hit me like that from Chloe, that's going to hurt. And I think just the way she kind of went for almost like a gator effect, and I think it's maybe just kind of caught her wrist. And yeah, she's just going to get subbed out now.
she looks like she's in quite a lot of
Quite a
discomfort,
bit of pain,
actually.
yeah, that's not
Oh.
great. Luckily, we've got lovely Mish
Yep,
on the case.
she's headed
She'll-
down to go and see her straight away. So
Big
love-
shout out to Mish.
So McKenna McCool now overpass straight away.
Allen.
It's going to go out to McMahon. And again, perfect defense. Gives Mallory the option to go at the middle. McMahon is blocked.
Huge block.
Huge from Jaden Scott there.
And maybe after a little bit of a quiet set from Jaden in that first set, I don't remember any two kind of notable points. There's a nice block there, maybe get her into the game a little bit more.
Ooh,
Big
shank
shank
from
pass.
Apple Park. Wow, that's incredible.
That's really good work there from Belle Hogan. Just able to kind of flick it down.
I mean, to have the awareness with the ball coming off the side of the court, to not touch the net, be able to push the ball down and not just get stuffed out in a block. Huge from her.
Yeah, and also not to go into the net is, again, quite tight. Not going under the net either.
Renee's serve is well passed from Ari. And a slide from Eagles. Great defense from the middle. This time,
Ball goes 1-2.
little tight on that defense from Kellum, but well handled from Feller.
Yeah, I was going to say, fellow there just thought, okay, bit tight, let's go on to catch the Newcastle defence out.
Chloe Allen is well passed. What
What a
a
pickup.
swing.
And
Huge.
a pickup as well. And then Kellum, nice little celebration there from Ari and Claire.
I mean, Kellum showing once again, I know she's not playing in the setting position right now, but setters tend to be the hardest to go up on a joust with. Short serve. A little too short.
I know Alan tried that a few times, a couple of times yesterday as well. Same result. Again, Crystal Palace, a little bit of a weird venue for them maybe. It's much hotter than Ernest Bevan is. I know Bevan is a very cold venue from personal experience.
Hogan goes well long in return.
Point for point on service errors.
Are we going to have 3 in a row like we did in the last set?
Let's not tempt it.
Let's not.
Don't give them the option. Jaden Scott, ball in play, 100%.
She is.
I shouldn't have said that. Oh, no.
And look,
Oh,
it happened. Oh, and
and
an
an
ace!
You're welcome, Jaden. I'm taking that point.
That is impressive.
Sorry to break it to you.
Whoever said JC's the GOAT in the chat, I'm going to have to agree.
That is the lovely social media rep for Newcastle. I believe she's out in Spain, so hopefully enjoying the sun. Yeah, a big shout out to all the media people that have worked with me this year, especially at Super League. You make my life much easier. So no, appreciate all of you. Big shout out to all the volunteers today, all the ball rollers, all the court staff, all the media reps, all my camera operators. Currently got Shiloh on our floor camera, who's just giving you a lovely shot there of Malory. And we've got Deji up on camera 1 as well. Again, all of these people make this possible. I'm just the man that presses the buttons, which is, if anything, an easy job.
You make it sound like you don't hardly do anything, but we all know that that's not true.
I'm not fishing for compliments here, don't worry.
So that was the first timeout called by Newcastle for the set, considering that they're trailing 5 points after everything being really tight in set number 1. Jaden Scott again puts the ball in play.
Really
good
deep
start.
as well.
Yes. Ooh, what a
Just
swing.
able to defend it.
I don't think that Jaden Scott was expecting there to be any space down that line.
No, not at all. Just coming off having a little chat with Jeff. Not sure what they're talking about, but
McMahon puts in a deep serve. So it's going to be out of system. Chloe Allen from the pipe. Out to Scarce. Great swing.
that block touch just taking it away from the defenders. Big scramble from McCall, but just unable to get to it.
Great to come in, though, after one of your players goes off with an injury worry and be able to make an impact. Good from McCall here. And Claire Kellum.
Again.
That angle.
And a great angle from Claire Kellum there. Just puts that thumb down, gets into that kind of cross-court, almost 4-4 style shot. Great work from Claire. I know we mentioned it, well, you guys mentioned it a little bit on the podcast, of one of those players that's really stuck out to us. Maybe didn't have as much of an impactful season last year as a huge block.
Absolutely stuffed. Yeah, Claire has been really, really important to the Malory offense this season, but that setup between her and Oyoni, absolutely no way through. That's very tight, but well handled. And Scarce with a smart tip. Well watched from Feller. Free ball for Newcastle is handled by Hogan. But the defense on the Malory side is up for that. Very well left from McKenna McCall. That was so close.
Was there a bit of hope in that though? Maybe kind of a little bit of a blow on the way out as well, trying to get that ball just to land a little bit further out.
Yeah.
It's always that worry, isn't it? You go, yeah, calling it out.
It could have gone either way. We don't have Hawkeye technology yet. Ooh, not the best pass here from Malory. McKenna McCall. And out to Scarce. Love the aggression.
A huge block. Claire really working well with her middle there. Just able to get up, shut down that kind of quite a low swing into it. Claire vibing out to the tunes as well. Claire's one of my favourite people to watch. Just loves the energy.
Oh, that's a great serve. Putting Newcastle well out of system. Shentz is in the way of his player.
Shentz move, man. Come on.
Perfect pass from Claire. Oh, it goes out to Chloe Allen. Oh.
Bit of miscommunication.
And then that might have been called for 4 touches anyway, because I think that Hogan and Appleback both touched that ball.
Yeah, there was a big shout there from Appleback, but I think Bell was so set on taking that ball, which I guess is unusual being a setter. You kind of want Lexi to take that first ball so Bell can get in system, but
that is a
great,
really tight. Oh, that was
Renee
beautiful
able
set.
To get it.
That was incredible. That was a decent pass. It's tight, but it's not a bad.
Double sub coming in for Newcastle here.
So we have Maddie Montero coming in as a front court opposite in place of Belle Hogan, and we've got Harriet Philp Edwards coming in to be the backcourt setter in place of Jenna Bask.
One of Essex's finest. Played at Boswell's. Won multiple national championships with the U16, U18 girls. Great first serve.
Really great aggressive first serve. A huge swing out of system for Newcastle. Scarce gets the tape roller, but Oyeroni is watching that. So free ball this time. Straight to the middle. Love that. Great defense. And really well watched here from Appleback. Scarce. Oh, that ball is just a little wide. That one goes into the antenna.
We've seen Feller go for that dump a couple of times. There was that one in the first set where she kind of went behind her back that Lexi was keen on to, but she's trying it. It's starting to work, getting the Newcastle out of system.
Oyoni's serve goes deep, so it's going to be out of system again here. That's decent defense. McKenna McCool still aggressive. Is it chased down? No, not quite. It's a tough ball to defend.
Yeah, Lexi just kind of reaching for it on her back heels, just unable to get it.
Gonna have a second timeout here for Newcastle as they're still 6 points down. As Malory get closer, sorry, 7-6, sorry. I'm not doing it the other way around. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna trick me. 7 points down. I was waiting for the scoreboard to update.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, really tough. But Malory have just stepped things up a notch this set.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, you don't know what they're saying. This is when it'd be great to have a mic on. But after speaking to a couple of the coaches yesterday about what they were saying in coaches' huddles, we're quite glad for you, the viewers at home, we've got microphones on because that language is not safe for air at 10:30 on a Sunday morning.
Are you still on GMT? You're not on British Summer Time now?
I am, but it's been a long day, Jess. It's been a long day already.
It's been a long
week.
day before 11 o'clock in the morning.
It's been a long season.
Oyeroni is well passed by Newcastle. Oh, and that's an overpass on the defense. Beautiful use of the middle there.
Great work through the middle.
And we talked about this before the match started that Newcastle really needed to get Renee going through that middle position. We haven't seen a lot of middle usage on the Malory side, which I'm a bit surprised by. I think they could be a bit more effective there.
Yeah, it's what we were talking about, wasn't it, a little bit, with Jaden not maybe getting into the game as much as you'd see her in some games.
That's a great pass from
Saying
Chloe
that,
Allen.
here she goes.
Look at that. Oh, and it's in as well. It's a great kill from Jaden Scott.
So I think Jeff's tapped into our stream and is listening to us, or maybe Jaden's got a little earpiece in or something, because we're calling that.
I mean, that was like perfect timing. McKenna McCool serves. Good pass here from Applebach. And McMahon with another big swing, but of course Ari is there for the defense.
Going from backcourt.
That's a great containing block touch. McMahon with the tip this time. Great pickup from Chloe Allen, but it's going to be a free ball back to Newcastle. Again to that middle. And it's going to be just wide.
Line judge closest to us was going to call it, but then thought against it, hoping his other line judge called it. She's got a far better position.
Yeah.
A really tough angle for him there.
They're kind of calling two different lines, so it's... Oh, what a stuff.
Huge block there from Chloe Allen. Get to watch that one again.
I mean, Maddie Montero has absolutely nowhere to go with this ball. Chloe Allen is all over it.
She's just up, presses.
That's a good pass from Scarce. McMahon again with this push tip. And another low set here. Oh, a bit of confusion on the Newcastle side.
Again, that's the second time we've seen that this set. A little bit of miscommunication from the libero outsides. It's just a little bit tricky. Lexi's just got to pick her head up. Girls are really good at that, I know, from Newcastle. Really one team, working really well together.
So McCool still targeting Lexi. That's a really high set. Smart play. Oh, that was ugly. But it works out for Newcastle in the end as Renee Kilo puts that ball down.
And I believe for the first time this weekend, Jodie Moore coming in.
Yep.
The captain of Newcastle Knights. Jodie is also the absolute linchpin to this team in terms of all the organisation. Really good role model for all the girls. Does all their admin, does all their planning. I know there's a lot of planning that got into this weekend for both the men and women's side. As Allen detonates that ball cross-court into the back.
Great swing from Allen there, but that was a good aggressive serve from the Newcastle captain when she just made her debut.
And Jodie just comes straight back off.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Jodes.
The nature of a serving substitution.
Yeah, this set surely is gone now for Newcastle. Hopefully they just can build a little bit of momentum going into the third.
Yeah, that's a good pass here out to McMahon. Really big aggressive swing.
That's that kind of momentum you want. McMahon there, swinging hard off the hands.
I think she sees that the blocking hands of Jaden Scott are just a little too noodly up there. And the reversal of, no, the not reversal. Yeah.
I think it was a little bit. I think it was called a little bit too late, or maybe
they might be out of subs. 1, 2, 3. 4. No.
I think maybe it was called a little bit late, possibly.
You only get 6 subs in a set, so, oh, what a pass. Claire Kellum is super aggressive, goes block out.
And brings up set point for Malory Eagles. Look at that, still smiling.
Set point for Malory Eagles.
One thing I love about both these teams is the energy is always good. Every time you step into a gym with them, they're always kind of singing along, dancing. As Scott
That's a
looks
good
for the
serve.
ace.
McMahon aggressive, I think going for fingertips there, but doesn't quite get it. I don't mind the aggression at set point. It's 14-24. Why not? What are you going to do? Lose the set?
Go for the highlights.
Yeah,
Because no one knows the scoreboard on an Instagram reel.
true.
You could be 25-1 down. You could bounce that on the 1 meter line. You don't care if you've lost.
Yeah.
You've got a highlight clip for Instagram.
Well, I mean, speaking of highlight clips for Instagram, I did post a kill for McMahon yesterday. So, loved that moment. If you haven't seen it, definitely go back and watch it. It was a very unusual kill.
It's one of the few. There's a few that we've seen this year, especially at Super League Lives. The benefit of me having this role of being at Super League Live is we get to see all the games, get to see really cool clips. There's a couple that I remember. There was a nice libero kill from Malory at Essex, I believe.
Yep.
From Rodriguez. That was really nice. We had a couple of other weird ones. We had almost point or bounce of the season from Matty Edwards at Super League Live as well.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been ridiculous. I think Essex is still repairing their floor from that.
Probably.
But it was
insane.
It was an inch outside.
Yeah.
But it was.
I don't even think it was a whole inch. It was so close.
Yeah. Arguably, the ref should just call it in just for the highlights.
Yeah. We need to do style points.
Yeah. Style points would be an interesting one. Yeah. Talking of style points, the Nottingham boys.
Talking of true style points, let's head
Over to the far side.
to Michael Hansen-Morris off on the far side of the court.
Thank you, Jess. I've got a very special guest with me. Someone that Super League fans from last year will know. Got former Essex Rebels setter Chelsea Simmons. Chelsea, why are you back in London?
I am back here for Final Four, watching former teammates and great friends on Essex and also Newcastle. I played with Jenna Vasky at University of Tampa. We played together. And then obviously all my fellow Rebels that I'm here to support as well.
Obviously great to have you back. I know you're looking forward to the final late, but just talk about your year, obviously, in the Super League last year. You get to play as a pro in Switzerland this year. How was that experience?
It was great. I had a wonderful time playing in England. I had a lot of fun. Decided to keep playing and was able to play, and then I'll be in Switzerland my first year playing abroad besides England, and it was a great season, a lot of fun, a lot of volleyball, and yeah, it was great living up in the mountains.
Definitely different to living in Colchester.
Definitely different than Colchester.
Obviously, super experience. I know you obviously play with Jenna, but what have you kind of seen in these two sets? What kind of flick for Malory in set two?
Yeah,
Because
lots
it's a team
of
you know well as
excitement.
well.
I think it's an early start, and it seems like there's a lot more energy and fire coming from Malory. And I think Newcastle's going to put up a good fight, and they're going to bounce back.
And obviously a challenge for your former Rebels later, going
Yeah.
against an undefeated Durham. How
Yeah.
much are you looking forward to seeing all your former teammates? So
Really excited. I think it's going to be a really good game. Durham has put up such a good season, bunch of strong players, really impressive stuff. And I think it's going to be a really good final.
well, I appreciate you hopping on, Chelsea. We're ready for set three down here. Jess, back over to you.
Thanks for having me.
Great to hear from Chelsea Simmons, and great to see her in the venue here. Looking forward to all of the matches today as we're just about to start off on set number 3. As a reminder, it's currently, sorry, the referee blew the whistle and the
Have no ball.
Bell Hogan didn't have a ball yet. We're 1 set all with Bell Hogan to start us off. That's a great serve and an ace to
What a way to
open the
start.
set. Love the ace cheer.
I just dropped super quick. Maybe caught the back row of Malory just off. Can she do it again?
Nope, that's a much better pass. Still out of system though, so Claire Kellum with that aggression. What a cover from Chloe Allen. And that's a great pickup from McMahon. Jenna Vask is defended. Another Magarelli coming in, but Chloe Allen just wide.
You see Lauren Tennyson coming into the middle instead of Renee. At the moment, she's currently front row. So
Yep.
a little bit of a change up for the Knights.
And we see that Scars has retained her place on court as Belle Hogan gets her second ace.
That bow and arrow celebration.
3 points to nil.
Maybe Shentz has said something to them in that kind of between sets. Saying, let's go. Let's ignore set 2.
That's a better pass this time from Kellum. And out of system, but well left from Appleback.
And Jefferson Williams with an early timeout.
I mean, 4-0 start for Newcastle Knights in set number 3 is not what he wants to see.
No, after almost kind of, I guess it was almost a blowout in that second set to 14.
I
Really
mean,
good
14-25 is a pretty big differential. Maybe just something specific about the serve receive against Hogan's serve right now.
Yeah, or maybe just a little bit of the icing of the server, make her think about it a little bit more. Maybe her confidence is quite high and maybe that will then go over the top and then it maybe into the net, out the back, bit too much muscle, or do the complete opposite, she'll serve another ace and 30 seconds will be wasted by Jeff.
We'll find out in just a moment. Great pass there. Kellen comes in, goes for high hands, but it is defended. That's an awkward free ball tip. Smart play, though. And again, defense, but out of system to McMahon. Smart roll. Somehow collected by McCool, but Scott cannot recover.
Big play by Newcastle. 5 points to nil.
Again, really smart placement of the ball from this Newcastle team when they're a little bit out of system.
5-point run here from Bell.
This time we're going to the pipe. The roll shot's picked up. Applebox a little bit in Hogan's way. Ooh, that's an overpass.
Bella gets some hands on it though. Out to Kellum.
Huge from Kellum.
There you go. And you see that reaction there from Claire straight away. Turns around, big draw. Wants to get her girls going up again. She is one of those kind of energy people in the team. No matter what the score is, she'll turn around, cheer every point.
But sometimes that is what you need to kind of reset yourselves and get some momentum back. As Newcastle goes out to Jenna Vasquez. Oh, and Chloe Allen, I think, takes that one to the face.
Yeah, I think luckily it kind of came, I say luckily, still hit her in the head off of Jenna Vasquez serve, which Jenna Vasquez swing is going to be big, but comes off her arms into her head. So I think taking a little bit of the pressure off, she gives a thumbs up to Jenna and the ref. So yeah, hopefully. I believe that's Mark Perkins in the chat.
Great serve.
Hi, Mark. I'm not going to be taking your job anytime soon, as you can see. But Mark's also, again, shout out to just loads of people in the volleyball community. I know we mention it, and I know a lot of people in the volleyball community say it's such a good community, but Mark's been someone that's helped me with the stream, giving me updates. I know he's been chatting with Mikey as well.
Oh.
Tennyson goes out.
Oh, that's tough because that was a great serve, forcing the overpass, and Tennyson just puts it a little bit wide.
As soon as you see that overpass as a middle, it's that excitement. You go, oh, naming lights.
Oh, what a pass.
It's a great pass.
And a huge swing, and Tennyson this time gets it right. That was a crazy swing from Scars there on the outside. Well watched by Tennyson to be ready for that overpass on the Malory defense.
Really
Still serving deep, yeah. Oh, I love this. Finally, we see some middle action from the Malory Eagles.
V really, really experienced with this Malory team. Was here last year as well. Maybe didn't play as much as she did, as she has played this year. But again, really good experience she brings
Good pass.
to that team.
Ooh, that's a little low on the Newcastle side, but
Recycled.
they do recover. And an easy pickup for Ari. What a block.
What block indeed. Get to see that one again.
Yeah, we've got to watch this as Newcastle are off to a dream start here. Scar shuts that one down, and Newcastle continues to lead by 6 points. And almost an ace this time on Ari. So free ball for Newcastle. And smart from Hogan there to try and draw the block, but huge from Oyeroni to stick with Kilo.
She heads back to serve.
Ooh, a little too short.
A little bit annoyed with herself, kind of claps her hands.
We've seen a number of service errors from the middles on both sides of the net today, so.
It's understandable. They only serve kind of once or twice per game. Well, sorry, per set.
That looked like it might have been going out, but Cullen plays it anyway. Chloe Allen has to push that ball, but
Really deep.
really deep.
Again, great vision there from Chloe, just to kind of see the back corner empty, just pushes it. Lexi just then able to track back and grab it.
That brings up McKenna McCool.
Short
And that's,
serve.
oh, well picked up. Somehow Newcastle keep that one in play. Chloe Allen is contained but recycled. She gets it again. Tip this time, and Vasca puts it under the net. Finally, those toolbox shots working for the Malory Eagles. We saw in previous sets that they were really struggling to hit the mark as Newcastle go to the middle. But we're going to have a replay because somehow
Substitute buzzer went off. For some
Yeah.
reason.
it does happen on occasion.
1960s electrics in Crystal Palace, maybe.
I don't know. It did only happen once yesterday. I'm sure last season,
I think it was twice, maybe. But
I'm sure last season at Final Fours it was like 4 or 5 times over the weekend.
no harm, no foul.
McCool, wow, that's a great, oh my goodness. Oh, huge confusion.
Everyone's kind of looking at each other. You take it, and then before we tried to get to it, too late. Ball's under the net. A couple of times that's happened with Newcastle as well, but
Yeah,
still 3 points ahead.
that's a great pass. And McMahon has to struggle to get to that one. Oh, what a pickup from Scars in the backcourt. McMahon this time is blocked. I think she was blocked. I don't know if that was in the tape.
I heard it off arms, but I think maybe off tape, assisted by arms. So
I'm gonna give them the block. We'll give them the block.
I think Fella would want the block. I think Scott would want the assisted block. So let's give them the block.
Yeah, we like that. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So that leads to Newcastle taking their first timeout for this set as Malory closed the gap now to only 2 points.
Shent with his iPad out. I know he would have been looking at content and clips all like last night on Ball Time on Huddle.
And we definitely saw him watching the Malory Eagles and Durham Platinums playing yesterday to scout out what his potential competition was going to be.
I think it's really started to show the depth of these games and these teams, that the amount of emails, and I mentioned this a little bit, Leeds is the amount of emails I get of people sharing playlists and clips and stuff like that. Caroline goes down the line.
That is some fire.
It's a great coach's point for Shentz. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people sharing playlists, scouting their teams, really having a game plan, and it really shows because then both teams know about each other and it makes the game far more competitive, as you can see in this with one set all.
Decent pass there from McCool, but smart high line there from Chloe Allen.
Allen finding some fingers.
She puts that ball in, but that's a good pass from Scars and a good use of the middle on the Newcastle side as Kellum also tries to go for that high line. And McMahon is defended. McCool from the backcourt. Again, fingertip touch. Just out of reach of Ask.
Yeah, maybe there's a slight change in game plan, looking for those touches rather than trying to maybe play off the hands. It's going for those high hands.
Smart adjustments, though, from Malory as they've closed that gap now to just 1 point. Good pass. McMahon goes for high hands of her own.
I mean, both teams here really, really experienced, but maybe just the kind of couple of years that Malory Eagles have got on Newcastle Knights. Kind of, I'm guessing here, average age of the Malory Eagles about 24, 25, and then maybe Newcastle around the 21, 22-year-olds, seeing as they're university students. A lot more of those are undergrads compared to the UEL side of things that are more masters and PhD students. Maybe that experience is just benefiting them a little bit.
Great defense on the Malory side. And again, they finally use the middle, but that connection still doesn't quite look right, but great block there from Kellum. And I like the aggression from Vasky, but she just puts that one long.
Got Georgia McGovern in the chat as well, Eva as well, all the volleyball community. I know Georgia will be cheering on her Eagles.
Good block coverage this time. And smart time to put down that setter dump.
Cheeky from Bell there.
Smart, you know, you got Jaden Scott in the backcourt who is good, you know, for a middle in defense, but she's not going to be as quick off the mark as Ari.
Middle's catching some strays there. I'm sure Middle's quite good at defense, but I know what you mean. Not a kind of original defender.
It's not their natural position. I might be a little biased as a lib. Let's go.
That's just because Middle's getting your way, isn't it?
Yeah, hugely. So, Feller with a really tough serve, and Scarce with the power.
I know last night we were having a little bit of a debate about it, of especially things like ones to watch. And Scarce was one of those ones that came up of how much of an impact she had in the game when they were playing against Essex. But we just thought with how good Vask had been this year,
Yeah.
it's someone you kind of have to highlight. But yeah, no, Scarce again with those bright pink shoes, easy to spot on court.
Yeah. But speaking of ones to watch, that swing from McKenna McCool.
It's almost like we do our little bit of research and we don't just do ones to watch for a laugh.
Maybe we do, as Claire Kellum puts one well long of the court.
And that is not one to watch.
Maybe we want to watch and see how far it's really going to go. No, she's been really great from the service line today, so a bit frustrating for her to not have a bit of a service run. She's going to have a free ball over to Newcastle. It does put off Appelbach. Oh, self-coverage for Scarce, and Hogan's going to have... I thought she was going to swing at that ball, actually. McCool with the aggression beats Vask in the defense.
Almost looked like that was going to get a nice little up. Maybe Lexi could have got another touch on it. Free ball over and then we're back in, but just out of reach.
And suddenly Malory Eagles are leading as Oyeroni goes middle for middle. And Vask from the backcourt, who does great to keep that block step, that block foot step, sorry, off the 3-meter line from the backcourt attack.
Shent's saying the scoreboard's wrong.
I have 16-14 for Newcastle on my
I did as well,
secret
and then
scoreboard.
I believe the big scoreboard, and I've changed my scoreboard. We are 16-14.
Okay. Oh, that's smart from
What a
McMahon.
block. Not one of those ones that kind of like people will be screaming and it's hitting the floor, but smart, like you said, really smart to just kind of push that down, close the door on Malory. 3-point lead again now for Newcastle.
That's a great serve deep on Chloe Allen, who gets the ball back for out of system. What a stabbing arm from Appelbach. And McMahon, somehow makes it through that block of McCool and Jaden Scott.
Big celebration from the Newcastle girls. Lexi just screaming at McMahon. And that's forced a timeout from Jeffson. Maybe questioning a little bit of, they were at one point they were even, and now again dropped to 4 points behind.
Yeah, that's second timeout for Jefferson Williams. But yeah, they were right up there. I did say on the stream that that Malory were leading, but that was wrong because I was looking at the big scoreboard. But they were within 1 point. Now that gap has spread right back out. Newcastle back in the driving seat on set number 3.
Jeff currently ignoring the second ref that he's had 2 timeouts. Always makes me giggle when you've just got a ref waiting there to acknowledge that there's been 2 timeouts or 1 timeout or full substitutions. And Jeff's just focused on the game.
As Scars comes in with a tough serve off the timeout. Well handled by Feller and put away.
Sam's having a little chat with McMahon.
McCool's serve is well handled. What a smart play, but Ari somehow makes it there. And that rolling shot really put Newcastle off.
Feller. So thanks very much for that set.
Yep.
I'll show you what to do with it. Puts it on the floor.
Love that aggression. Get up there, have a swing of her own. Easy overpass as McCool comes up to serve again. Better pass here from Newcastle, and they use the middle this time. So it's going to be out of system to Chloe Allen, who's stuffed. What a big block. I mean, Tenson and Hogan right next to each other. That's a pretty decent wall to try and get through. Sorry, it would have been Kilo. As we're going to have a free ball for Newcastle. Out to McMahon with the one-on-one. And this time the overpass. But well watched from Jaden Scott. Newcastle nearly get that ball back up.
Yeah, I would have been interested to know what that call was, though, from that kind of, it would have been a lift probably, a bit of a weird, like off her leg, off her arm. I think Shentz was asking for maybe a net touch, but got to play to the whistle.
Great dig from Ari, but it's a little over, and Tenson takes that height advantage against Claire Kellum.
Brings up that magic 20. It's kind of that crunch point now where Mallow have really got to get back into it, otherwise this set's going to slip away from them.
Hogan serves. Not the best handling from Kellum, so it's going to be Allen from the backcourt. Smart rolling shot. Again, Newcastle go for the middle, but it's well defended. Kellum with a big swing. Recycled, and McCool from the backcourt with her aggression. Tags the line. Love seeing that aggression.
As we got V stepping back into the front row, Ari comes off with Scott to serve. Great serve by Scott.
What a pass. But Vask, you're not stopping that.
Yeah, Vask, as soon as you see that Vask out wide, she's got such an arm swing on her that it's almost unstoppable. We've seen Ari dig it a couple of times when it's gone cross, but that kind of almost line shot targeting Jaden, it's going to be tough for anyone to dig that out.
Great pass from McCool, giving Malory an option to finally run a very clean middle attack. We haven't seen a lot of it.
No, and it's almost kind of like a over-the-top function of her arm coming down over the top of it and going straight down into the ground, using her height.
Good serve there from Freer Feller, but Newcastle handle it well. Tenson with a second chance, so it's going to be free ball back to Newcastle. All options available, and Vass goes for the tip.
That smart play again, just maybe not always going for that full swing, and that's why I really enjoy watching Jenna as a player, that every swing, everything, she's not swinging straight through every time. Sometimes someone that's so athletically capable like Jenna that maybe would fall into that trap, but no, she uses the tip.
Perfect pass. And this time Kellum is unstoppable against Scarce.
Callum almost saying, whatever you can do, Jenna, I'm going to try and do as well, and thanks to the tips.
I think the difference there is the clean pass from Ari. The service reception on the Malory side is starting to look a little bit ragged at times. And again, Newcastle going for the smart play over the power play, with Renee Kilo putting down a tip of her own.
Just 2 points to go for Knights to close out set number 3.
Much better pass here. And Chloe Allen looked like she was over the top of that block somehow.
Yeah. Allen just going into that cross as well, targeting Lexi.
So we're going to have Ramirez coming on as the serving sub this time for Oyironi. Only her 3rd serve of the season as Newcastle go back to Vask from the backcourt.
Bringing up set point. As Ramirez comes back out for that serving sub.
And then we have Scars serving for Newcastle to take set 3.
Hoping to take set 3.
Potentially to take set 3, yes. That's a good pass though from Chloe Allen. McKenna McCool. Wow, McMahon somehow covers herself off that block. And then beats Ari in the defense. McMahon having a huge impact on that set. But a quick recap at the moment. Chloe Allen leads the scoring table with 13 kills and 1 block, followed very closely by Jenna Vask at 13 kills herself. Claire Kellum at 11 kills, 1 block, 1 ace. McKenna McCool, 9 kills, 1 block, 1 ace. And McMahon on 8 kills, 1 block. Not a whole lot of difference between these two sides, but Newcastle do lead 2-1 at the moment. So it's just a question now of what Malory need to tweak to improve their consistency and get things down. I think the passing for me is the bit that's starting to show a bit of struggle.
Yeah, I think it must have been an interesting conversation that Shentz came out with in that kind of between set 1 and going in from set 2 into set 3. I think that's quite an interesting conversation he's had, because from being 25-14 down to then come back in that set, 25-21, at no point really there was a point where Malory were within 1, but they always had that kind of 2 or 3 buffer and made it much easier for them. Even if they were kind of losing 1 or 2 points, they knew if they kept siding out, they were guaranteed to win that set, and they've gone on and done that.
Yeah, to come back from being from losing set 2 25-14 to then not even falling behind at all in set number 3 and then closing it out in that way. It's a massive turnaround for the Newcastle team.
Yeah, Crystal Palace starting to fill up a little bit. Hoping for a nice big crowd for the men's and women's gold medal matches. Big close out to our season. Been a long season, Jess. We had a little bit of a chat there about kind of players that have really stood out to us, and I know on the podcast you and Mikey have got big plans for kind of players of the season, teams of the season, but so far this weekend, who have those been players that have stood out to you? Maybe even in this game, who's those people that have stood out to you across the weekend?
Let's just talk about this game, because I don't want to give too much away, but I think McKenna McCool for me for the Malory Eagles has been so impactful both yesterday and today, bringing in a breath of fresh air, a new level of aggression that they had been missing prior to that point. And on the Newcastle side, I mean, there's been so many great moments for them, but to see McMahon coming in and performing really well, and of course Scars coming in after that injury question for Daisy Boardman and putting in a very consistent performance.
Yeah, we do hope Daisy is okay. I know
Okay, so we are going to have
Number 4, let's make some noise for the Malory Eagles and Newcastle Knights.
confirmation that we've got a lineup change for Malory Eagles with Claire Kellum coming off and JoJo Cruz taking her place on the court, which is interesting because we have seen Claire be really impactful when she gets that fiery feeling going. But we do have that one lineup change for them. On the Newcastle side, the lineup stays the same as it was at the start of the last set, with Tenton retaining her place on the court, and Scarce is still out there.
JoJo is still one of those players, very similar to Claire, where big energy, big kind of hyping up of the team. Yeah, maybe a rest from Jefferson, or maybe just changing up something, different service options. You see Jeff giving some signals straight away to JoJo.
And she starts us off with what looks like a relatively straightforward serve, and McMahon comes in with a big swing, but Jaden Scott and Emily Feller say denied.
When those two get close together, close up that block, it seems almost impenetrable for the Knights, which is always a nice thing to see when a block can kind of get set, really cause some issues for that offense, force them to start asking questions.
Great from Scarce there, giving Newcastle the option for the middle, but Emily Feller
Almost clawed it over.
That was a great pickup from Ari, and then Emily Feller just taking advantage of the open net and ducking that ball down.
Came off Ari so quickly. Feller really had to quickly think about what was happening. Goes for on two, finds that middle.
Scarce again puts in a good pass out to Vask at the opposite. Great dig from Cruz. Out of system to Allen. Good defense on the Newcastle side. Back to Vask. She's blocked this time but recycled. McMahon gets a swing, again recycled. And a tip. Oh, that's a smart play just behind Feller on the block.
There we go. There we see Newcastle adapting, go into that block a couple of times, and then actually think, okay, we know that maybe the coverage behind them might not be as good because they're so reliant on that block just closing out a point. And then, yeah, they go for that tip just over the block. As Malory get called for a rotation fault.
I think it's going to be that McKenna McCool was on the wrong side of Ari. We saw this yesterday with Durham Platinums with Chloe Thomas on the wrong side of their libero as well.
Chloe Allen just getting some confirmation there.
Yeah, so it's McKenna McCool was in the wrong position there. So
3
they will
points for
reset.
Newcastle.
Yep. So McMahon will serve again. That's a great serve.
JoJo just taking it off Ari there. Maybe coming into the game a little bit later now, not having that connection straight away, but I'm sure they'll have a quick little reset. Ari will just say to her, okay, that's my ball. JoJo will let her take it.
So she's still going to be targeting Cruz. This time it goes long. Well left.
Great leave. Matrix dodged that.
I'm going to have to agree with you guys in the chat about the passing from Newcastle. It has been significantly improved versus yesterday and earlier on in the season, because we talked about that as a big worry, especially opening weekend, as Jaden Scott keeps us moving and puts one long herself.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to have this as the bronze medal match in the last weekend of the season, when we had this as the first game of the season. And I think the growth of Newcastle as a team, I know they had a couple of people out. I know Renee wasn't there from illness, I believe. And I'm not saying that just tags the back line.
Wow. Cruz sounded very confident that that ball was going long, but Tenton serve tags the baseline. Beauty.
Yeah, like we're saying, it shows how much this Newcastle team have really grown into the confidence of the league. I think everyone had maybe written them off at opening weekend. Have gone, okay, Division 1, walked it, and then maybe Super League might have been a bit too much for them. But they're here. They're at Final Four in their first season. I know Sam's worked really hard with them in Bucks as well. They just missed out in what was, I believe, quite a good game against UEL in Bucks.
Another tip, this time 2 players on the floor for Malory. So we've got a little bit of block coverage, and McCool gets a swing this time. Awkward block touch.
Yeah, just dropping that ball short. McCool finding those hands. Feller goes back to serve. Again, someone else who's been really strong from the service line, not many errors. Nice.
That's
and
a
short.
good pass, though, from McMahon. And Vask puts in a tip this time. McCool cross court, so it's going to be out of system. That's a little wide there for Scarce, but she does well. Good defense. Vask is blocked by Chloe Allen.
And from our angle up here, that press from Chloe Allen is right over the net. Let's see if we can see that on the replay. But that press over the net is
huge from Chloe Allen as Feller puts that serve out. Really out of system here for Malory, but well defended by Newcastle. Scarce with a big swing. That's a great touch from Nicole, but not able to recover that one.
Newcastle with those out in front by 1 point.
We've seen this in the last couple of sets. Newcastle just keeping that 1 or 2 point lead.
Somehow JoJo Cruz puts up a perfect pass, but Newcastle defend. McCool stays out of the net there.
It was a great up from Ari.
And again, confusion on the Newcastle side of the net. It's those unusual situations that seem to be thrown off the Newcastle ladies. You know, setter takes the first ball. The ball's coming up close to the net. That's a great up from McMahon. And it's a slide coming through from Kilo. Really tight set 4, almost identical to what we saw in set number 1 as JoJo Cruz puts in a good pass out to McCool. And that huge push from Emily Feller gives McCool plenty of space on the net to work with. That's a deep serve.
Was a call of leave, but I think it would have just crept in with that dip.
Out of system here for Malory, so JoJo Cruz takes a standing shot, covers herself. McCool is blocked and again recovered.
No libero on court, so V's got to take it.
Yep.
Love to see that from the middle.
And
Jaden
Jaden
with a
Scott,
huge solo.
what a moment to put in a block against Renee Kilo.
I mean, that's great work from V as well. Working really hard, taking that second ball. Feller was out of the equation, so V went, right, step up. Nice little bump set. It's 2 and a
Again, passing from Newcastle today has been phenomenal.
and that is
Great dig.
up. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's a bit of a wild shank, but JoJo Cruz gets that back over the net. And that's going to be 4 touches? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chloe Allen just asking to just clarify where the 4th touch was, but I think Allen was maybe saying that it was a block touch on one, but they were definitely below the net.
Yeah, you've got to have part of the body still has to be above the height of the net to be considered a blocking action, and I don't think that was the case at the time that ball was touched the first time.
Allen's still not massively happy, but she's got to get on with it.
Yeah.
Referee Gore's not changing his choice.
Kilo puts in a serve. Allen calls it out. JoJo Cruz tries to take it anyway.
JoJo's just got to reset after that. Again, it's a point. Let's go again.
So they're just going to adjust the serve receive here. McCool's going to come in. And this time an ace on Chloe Allen.
You saw that serve receive change as Jefferson calls a timeout. First of the set.
Yeah, it's been really tight, so the minute that a 2-point advantage shows up, of course, Jefferson Williams is going to call a timeout. And I think this is part of the difference that we're seeing in this Malory squad versus what we saw last season is what happens in the big moments when there's high pressure on to get a pass in. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect pass, but to get a ball up and available for a set to go out. Malory are struggling right now to be able to deliver.
I think last year as well, and we mentioned it a little bit, is just the sheer depth of Malory's squad last year. You had obviously Georgia who's been in the chat. You've had Celine, loads of people like that as well. That they could run a 6-2. That kind of anyone could swing on it. Anyone could take that second ball. And I think maybe this year that's what they've maybe lacked a little bit more. As Alan goes through the pipe, coming out of that timeout.
I think that one helped a bit by the fact that Kilo served straight at Ari. So perfect pass, great set to the pipe, huge swing from Alan.
I'm no professional at volleyball. I've never played a game in my life, but I know not to pass or serve on Ari.
And first referee is calling that ball is in. Chloe Allen is not happy about that.
There's some boos from the sidelines.
It is loud. I mean, what a swing from McMahon. We can't tell from up here whether or not that was in.
The thing that the demographic up there I'm seeing is quite interesting. You've got James Lebry sat right next to Chester Searle, two mates from the England program, and that's the biggest cheer of the day, I think.
Okay, if you are a volleyball fan, a volleyball player, you're gonna say the ball never lies, and that ball was out.
I think Chester Searle has said that about 20 times right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm sure that Neil is not saying that, despite the fact that he said it yesterday, as Jenna Vask comes back with a fireball indeed.
Yeah, Ledders was calling it in, Chester was calling it out. Whoever was right, we don't know.
Great set there from Feller, and a smart play from Chloe Allen.
And it rolls off the back there of Lauren. That block touch just getting back into her. Malory closes it to 1. Jaden back to serve. Can she do what we did last set? Nice little ace on it. We shall see.
It's a good serve, but well handled. And defensive positioning on the Malory side there. Not sure exactly what their defense is meant to look like, but I feel like that wasn't quite it.
We've got a sub coming in. I believe it's Sophie for JoJo. Yes.
So this will be the first time this weekend that we've seen Sophie come in as something other than a serving sub. So looking to shore up the defense and the passing unit here for this Malory side.
Sophie again, one of the girls last year that won here at Crystal Palace. And was also in the Cup winning team. Cup finals are in a couple of weeks, 25th and 26th of April at Loughborough.
Good pass.
As much as people keep reminding me they think it's at Crystal Palace, I promise you
It's definitely at Loughborough. Yep.
As much as we love this venue, you can't have 2 courts at Crystal Palace, and we need 2 courts for a full weekend of fun and games.
As Feller's up to serve now. That's a decent pass here for Newcastle. That's a very aggressive set. And Chloe Allen with the push tip, but well defended by McMahon. And defense is over from Ari this time, and she immediately puts her hands up.
Ari really wanted that ball just to be up, and then Renee saw it coming over that net take, and she went, thanks very much, straight into the ground.
Sophie with a decent pass in, and Chloe with a great swing. So overpass on the defense. Ari trying to get there. And a huge swing from Allen. Yeah, interesting to see that Sophie Shishko has been selected to come on court over Claire Kellum. As Chloe Allen puts in a serve that's managed by Newcastle. Great push here, and Shishko is blocked.
It's probably one of Sophie's first swings of the weekend. So hard for her to get blocked like that, but you know, she'll rebuild, go to the next point. It's got to get that confidence booster. You never know, the next one might be an absolutely line-deleting swing.
Yeah, I mean, to have your very first swing of the weekend be an out-of-system set coming from position 6, that's a tough ask. You know, you got Renee Kilo across the net from you as well. That's a big block.
But Malory's still within 1. Have to win this set.
As Oyoni puts her serve long. So we got back-to-back service errors.
Lexi thought about it, and then there was a big call about.
Yeah. But at least if you're close enough to in that you're having to think about it, it's more acceptable. As Chloe Allen puts up a decent ball out to McCool, who's blocked but contained. And Shishko this time with a block out swing, just like you said, JC.
Yeah, there we go. Nice little cheer from her as well. That's the confidence boost that she'll want. There you go. You can see she's smiling, just being put in her place by Jaden as well, so she's not out of rotation.
As McCool serves. Out to McMahon. Contained and a little pokey. So it's going to go back to Vask in the backcourt. But good containing block touch here from Malory.
Slide from Scott.
And that,
That's
I
a
think,
winner.
is the first time this weekend that we've actually seen a really solid connection between Feller and Scott.
But it worked perfectly, so if they can now get that running a little bit more, if that's something that's maybe now clicked in their brain and gone, right, let's go. This is where Malory could maybe turn the tables. They've won a couple of points in a row now level.
That's a good pass. And a very quick play here between Hogan and Tenson.
Everyone looked at the backcourt, hoping there was someone in there defending. Ari is fast, but I don't think she's that fast.
No, she had taken a step forward in case that there was a setter dump coming, but not this time. As Chisco just mishandles that serve reception. So again, we're going to see McCool into the serve receive. It's a decent pass. Out of system again for Shishko. That's a tough ball. And this is when it becomes quite interesting to see what happens. Are we going to see JoJo Cruz make her way back onto court, or will Shishko retain her place as Belle Hogan puts that one into the net? A little bit of a reprieve for the Malory Eagles. As Shishko's now into the backcourt to serve. And that's a good ball in. Applebach does well to pass that out to McMahon, who has almost an open net.
Well left by Allen. 21-19. Jeff kind of looking to his bench to kind of go, what else can we do? But I think for Knights, if this is a bronze medal, which they're 4 points away from, that's a huge result for the program.
Yep. Jaden Scott's serve is good. Great pass there from McMahon. And Tenton is contained. Call there from Shentz of a carry. Good swing from Scarce. So out of system for Chloe Allen. Big swing and just wide. Newcastle just 3 points away from a bronze medal here for their first season in the Super League.
As Maddie Montero comes in, again, serving sub. Saw this work a couple of times yesterday against Essex. Another one of our England players, Maddie, with a great serve.
Oh, that's a beautiful pass, though. And again, Malory able to run the middle, but somehow that's kept alive by Chloe Allen.
Shent's calling another lift.
Surely that's a... I'm going to have to... That ball was over the net. Belle Hogan's a backcourt setter at the moment. That should have been called as a backcourt attack, in my personal opinion. I could be wrong.
I think maybe the kind of holding of the ball by Chloe was a little bit too much.
But that happened after the massive jump
True.
set that went over the net. It's an attack.
You're the volleyball professional.
You don't actually have to swing at the ball for it to be considered an attack.
I'm just the guy that presses the buttons.
Fair. That's fine. I'll just bully you into accepting my my opinions anyway. If you guys have any ideas at home, if you think I'm wrong, do let me know. I am very curious. But that does put Newcastle within 2 points of taking home the bronze medal with Montero to serve again. Great pass by Allen. And she gets the set straight away and puts down a beautiful 4-4. Let's just see the reversal of that serving substitution. I think referee just reminding the Newcastle players about the screening rules and to have their hands down.
Shen's calling a timeout.
This is more for time to regroup and a little bit of extra server icing. Big couple of points here for both of these squads. Will this go to extra time like we saw in set number 1? Or will Newcastle close it out at 25? Or will Malory close it out at 25? As Emily Fuller goes back to the service line. Applebach's pass is not perfect, but Jenna Vask comes in and puts that ball just long.
Again, calling for touches, not given.
Chloe Allen just confirming again, I didn't actually touch that ball. Feller serves again. That's a beautiful pass from McMahon. Vask is absolutely roofed.
Huge, huge block.
And this time Chloe's saying, yeah, I touched that one. Feller serves again. Not the best pass this time, but playable. And Scarce is roofed by McCool.
And then all of a sudden, from, they were, what, 4 points down?
It was 2023 just a moment ago. Literally, at the timeout, it was 2023. And now Newcastle called their second timeout at 23 all in set number 4.
This one's going down to the wire. Make some noise if you're here for the Malory Eagles. And let me hear you if you're here for the Newcastle Knights.
As we get started here again in set number 4. Great pass again, straight to the middle. And Kilo beats Ari in the backcourt, bringing up match point number 1 for the Newcastle Knights women, with Jenna Vask at the service line. Good pass here from Ari, out to McCool. Great swing, but defended. Vask gets the swing as well. Defended by Shishko this time. Out to Allen. Still not down. Scarce with the tip. Feller picks it up. Again out of system to Allen. Huge swing. And the Malory Eagles keep themselves in this match. We are at 24 all. It is going to extra time, regardless of which direction it ends up. Allen's serve is slightly missed pass, so Vask gets the ball out of system. And this is called in. Huge shout from Malory. They thought that ball was out, but looked pretty postage stamp perfect to us up in the commentary booth. Shishko doesn't handle that the best. McCool does well to not stay in the net, but Renee Kilo is in the net on the Newcastle side. As we see a continuation of what we've seen previously with that serving substitution with Lena Ramirez back in to serve. So this will be her 4th serve of the season. That one's in, out to McMahon, huge swing, and that goes down. So we'll see reversal of that serving sub. So Kilo puts a ball in, but that's a great pass, and it goes to Jaden Scott in the middle. Defense is overpassed. That ball's a little too easy going back to Newcastle. McMahon gets the swing, but what a defense here. And I think Malory were asking why there was no invasion call, but that one goes the way of Newcastle, who close it out 27-25 in the 4th set. Huge for these Newcastle ladies. First season in the Super League, and they are taking home a bronze medal against the defending champions, Malory Eagles.
That's a huge result for the Newcastle girls. Again, like we said, the start of the season, maybe a few of us who kind of written them off straight away, maybe too early, obviously too early, because they've now got a lovely bronze medal around their neck.
I'm just going to say, not all of us wrote them off too early. I had Newcastle in my Final Four prediction. Thank you very much.
I don't have an opinion because I work for Volleyball England. I have to stay completely non-biased or have any preferences. But a really, like I said, really great result. This will really help the volleyball up in the northeast. Obviously, Durham has been a powerhouse for years now, and now that all of a sudden you've got a Newcastle side that are going to cause Durham issues. We saw them take sets off Durham. You could argue they're maybe a bit unlucky yesterday against Essex. Essex played a really good game. That was arguably the game of the day. 5 sets. Could have gone either way.
Yep. Yeah, really great weekend for these Newcastle ladies. A bit disappointing for the defending champions, the Malory Eagles. They played really well yesterday. They played pretty good today. They were struggling a bit on the serve receive, but massive congrats to the Newcastle Knights, as we're just going to head down courtside to speak with Michael Hansen-Morris and our match MVP.
Now here courtside with our game MVP and bronze medalist, Caroline. Talk about the grit of this team. You had to earn it against Malory Eagles. You knew it was going to be hard to kill the ball, but you found success all game long. Just talk about how gritty this group is.
I mean, we said it was kind of poetic being able to start and then finish with Malory, because it was such I mean, this league is incredible. The competition is so high. Coming to opening weekend, we knew we were facing the best team, and to be able to finish it here and have that redemption of what we've shown, that every team that we said we would take points off them, we take sets off them, and that started paying off with matches and wins of games, and it was been just a testament to a really deep bench, high quality practices, and just an amazing, gritty group of girls. I think it was just a mentality of play outside your position, play outside of yourself, and it just showed here today, which was incredible, and it was so fun. It really was. And the growth of this group, obviously season's over now, you can leave everything on the floor today, but obviously you've had a position change as well. We were joking at the start of the year you weren't getting to serve, but how impactful has this group been to your development, playing the outside at the back end of the year? Astronomical. I think just even as a person, knowing this is I'm a postgraduate, this could have been my last year, and the fact that I had the faith and trust to kind of uplift that and say, yeah, go for it, we have your back, we believe in you and you can do this. I'm really grateful for that, but just honestly, I think more just as people, I'm leaving here so satisfied with just this year itself. So I think positionally it was so fun, but as a person it was a great group. Well, I've got loads to ask you, but I believe you've got a bronze medal to go collect, so go get it. Thank you. Thank you.
As we're just about to have the bronze medals handed out, as Caroline McMahon makes her way back over to stand with her squad.
Just the last couple of minutes of admin.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the medal presentation for the women's bronze medal match match. What a game that was between Malory Eagles and Newcastle Knights. Can we get a big round of applause for both our teams for a spectacular performance?
Yeah, huge performance here for this bronze medal match. Massive congratulations to both teams for making it to the Final Fours.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it on the podcast. Such a tough season. We didn't know who was going to be in the Final Four until kind of the last couple of weeks. Durham obviously kind of run away with it, but that kind of second down to fifth was so hard to call. Came down to the last couple of days as Joseph Gore collects his medal for being the first referee on the bronze medal match, presented by Charlie Ford, CEO of Volleyball England. Anna Jaskowska goes up as well, collects her memento for the game. Big thank you to all the referees, line judges from this weekend.
Yeah, it's been excellent so far this weekend. So, huge round of applause from the Newcastle boys, mostly in the stands, cheering on their ladies, starting off with their captain, Jody Amor. Then libero Lexi Applebach. Belle Hogan. Harriet Philip Edwards. Katie Ollie. Jenna Vasky. Daisy Boardman, who does have some tape on that wrist. Maddie Monteiro. Lauren Tenson. Amber Jarecki Myers. Kaylee Scars, who was excellent when Daisy Boardman had to come off. Caroline McMahon, Renee Kilo, and of course Katarina Nezovich, with their head coach Sam Shenton, where they had Lauren Howe on stats today, and
Sam Shenton with a medal as well.
yes, of course.
Big hug there from Charlie. Always makes me laugh when Charlie, he won't mind me saying this, always makes me laugh when he hugs or gives a handshake or tries to put a medal around tall volleyball players. He's always hung around basketballers as well, so he's used to it, but always makes me chuckle as someone that is a little bit taller than him. But no, really big congratulations to both teams. Really good work from Malory.
He's going off, giving a little high five to all of the Malory ladies.
Maybe a little bit of heartbreak, a little bit of sadness for the Malory girls, but we know they'll be back next year. I know there'll be a lot of changes around the London teams, with London Giants joining us in the Mari Women's Super League next season. Depending on what happens next week as well at the playoffs, could have 5 London teams in the Mari Women's Super League. And Jess, what do you think that could bring to the league? 5 teams, all in really close proximity.
Oh, it could mean for a really interesting transfer market over the summer, because that is a lot of different opportunities for players to join. But we also know that London has a lot of volleyball players. You've got the London Premier League, which is reasonably close in comparison to the Super League as far as level goes. So we might see some players that we haven't seen before coming out of that group. But I think it makes for a really interesting season. And if you live in the London area or are reasonably close, it means that there are plenty of matches to come down here and watch. I think we'll have some great double headers down here as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting season. Yeah, like mentioned, big transfer window. But also, I think as well, teams like Malory, that we're looking at their university programs as well, where they've got that partnership with UEL. There is that possibility that they'll bring in some nice new athletes from overseas that, again, will raise that level of the league. As you can see, if I just take off our lovely game cover, you can see now that the Newcastle teams, the boys have come onto court. I'm hoping they've all got their accreditations on, otherwise they shouldn't be on court. They're just getting a lovely team photo all together. Neil Rare is definitely on tiptoes. We can see it, Neil.
We can see all of the boys
All
on
of the
their
boys on
tiptoes.
their tiptoes.
They want to look extra tall next to the ladies, which is a tough ask against those middles for the Newcastle ladies.
They are fooling no one. It's on camera, boys. But a big cheer from them. Obviously, Newcastle men looking to go for gold in the men's Dynamic Super League final this evening. We'll be on air from about 5 o'clock. But we've got another game after this. We've got a bronze medal match between the University of Nottingham and Malory Eagles. So hopefully Malory will look for a bronze medal match. Bronze medal, sorry, not bronze medal match, they're already in that. We're looking for a bronze medal to maybe take some silverware home from Crystal Palace. Uni of Notts with their frosted tips, beautiful hair dye, will be on court as well. A lot of them I know were in Portugal last week on the beach, so maybe some beach shots. We saw a few pokies in that game, but we will see. But from myself, Jess Smith, thank you so much for listening to my awful voice. Thank you, Jess, for putting up with me all season as well. And we will be back on stream in about 20 to 25 minutes for the men's bronze medal match between the University of Nottingham and Malory Eagles.